Get a new tripod. It has so many functions. This thing is really like a transformer. So just trying to put my camera up here. Thank you for watching. Last episode you've seen me make some headlight surroundings, a custom grille and all that for my RC4WD Gelande II, which I'm turning into a Kahn Defender. Kahn makes a bit more of a beefed up version of the Land Rover Defender. Looks really sick, so I want to turn my crawler into that Kahn Defender. And I'm using styrene to build up my own parts, my own fender extensions, stuff like that. I almost tackled the whole project. I got one fender left to do. This one is a tiny bit more complicated since I'm going to incorporate an Arches RC stainless steel fuel filler cap. So I will show you how I French that in, what my construction looks like from the back once it's done, and how it fits to the car. Over here you see that Arches RC fuel filler cap. Let me put it up a bit closer. And what I want to do is I want to sink down that fuel filler cap inside that Kahn fender extension, just like it is done on the real thing. Right now, most likely you'll be shifting to a picture where you see a close-up of the fuel filler cap, so you get a bit of an idea what I'm talking about. I got a strip of styrene. I only need 4mm because the base of the fender isn't any thicker than that. So I got this strip of 1mm styrene. I'm going to heat this up a tiny bit with my heat gun, and I'm going to bend it in shape. If you have a close look over here at that Arches RC fuel filler cap, I chose a socket that is similar in diameter. That way I know that once I bend it around this, I got the correct shape and I got the correct angle to fit this in properly afterwards. Anyway, enough yap. This is my heat gun. It's a really cheap one. I picked this one up for 25 bucks. I put it on the lowest speed so I can actually see what's happening. And as this heats up and as I gently go over the styrene, you will see that at some point it starts to warp, and that's when I will press it around the socket and allow it to cool down. You can already tell that something's happening. Right now it's soft, so I will now push it over the socket like this, stretch it out a tiny bit and allow it to cool off. You can see that once you start heating that styrene, it becomes super flexible, but it does stay in shape after you're done bending it. As soon as it cools down, it will stay in that shape. And to alter the measurements on it afterwards, I can just use the cutting wheel on my Dremel. There, that's that. Now I can double check it. Just put it on that fuel filler cap. See if that diameter of what I've just made, of what I've just shaped, if it sort of corresponds with that fuel filler cap. And it does, so that's good. Big reason why I did not glue this fender yet. This is the one that's already done, the one that's going to be on the left side, which in every normal case would be the driver's side, but in the case of the Gelande 2, because it is based on a Land Rover, which is an English vehicle, the steering wheel is on the other side, so it's on what we would call the passenger side. Anyway, this is the left side of the car. This one is completely done. And I chose not to attach it because like this it's way easier to copy it. I made 2 of every part. You've seen that a bit earlier, and I explained that in one of the previous videos as well, that it's easier to double up on everything while you're still cutting and while you still have everything detached on your cutting board. So right now I'm going to mimic what I did over here in this fender. The fender that I got on this side will be mounted to the right. Earlier I made that bent strip of styrene that will be fitted around that fuel filler cap. In order to get that all to work, I need to cut a hole in this fender in the back part of it. So all of the construction bits that you see going on over here in the fender that is already done, I will not be adding those because most likely they will be ground out with a Dremel afterwards anyway. So for now I will just focus on the parts that you see going on over here, that bend shape over here, and this part that mimics that vent in the front. So I can build all of that up using my glue. Afterwards I can let it sit for a tiny bit, allow it to dry, and after that I will be filing everything down, sanding it, and prepping it as far as possible. I'm using Zap-A-Gap, which is a regular CA type of glue. It has a really quick adhesing quality to it, so it's if you need to quickly tack something, this stuff is the business. Afterwards, to fuse the styrenes together, I will also be adding a solvent. I'll be smearing that around all of these edges and corners so it fully soaks in, and I get that super strong bond in which those 2 styrenes melt together. CA glue also glues really well to fingers and stuff like that. So you do want to be careful with it because it is super aggressive stuff. For a quick build-up of your construction, for example everything that's going to be lost behind this fender, you can just use that CA type of glue. I found it really useful so far. Other people might disagree with me, but you know, it makes no sense to me to put clamps on this and let this fuse for 12 hours. Like, you can just make a really quick construction like this, afterwards add some more solvent to it, and just get on with your project. You can tell I press it really briefly, and I still have a properly strong connection. In fact, this is so strong I can instantly start sanding it and getting this into shape, making it ready for that additional part that will curve out. So you can tell they're the same, but they're kind of different still. Everything lines up, everything matches up, and then if I turn them around, I gave it a tiny sanding right now. It still needs to be completed with some putty, and then a final sanding with some finer grit sanding paper. But anyway, there you have the set, and here you can tell how that fuel filler cap turned out eventually. I'm pretty happy with the result. it gives it a tiny bit of extra depth that I was looking for, which again emphasizes the fact that these Kahn fenders make the truck look so much beefier. Using this scrap of styrene, this is 2 millimeters, I will try to quickly show you how I make a beveled edge to some of the parts. I did that over here in the grill. Those spokes, they all have beveled edges, and I also use the same technique to make this edge over here on the rear fender a tiny bit smoother. So what I do is I take my X-Acto. Mind you, if you have to cut something afterwards, it is advisable to change the blade, because this blade will take a beating if you use it like this. And what you do is you just keep it at the angle that you want your bevel to be at, and you basically just scrape it. And you can tell there's a tiny curl of styrene coming off, and that curl will just become bigger as you scrape, since you take off more material with every scrape that you give it. This is also a really useful technique I found, but others might disagree and prefer filing or sanding. But in case you have a bit of a ruffled edge on your styrene, to just flatten it out. It's always handy, I think, to cut your styrene a tiny bit larger than you actually need. That gives you some opportunity to adjust it. Using this technique, it's really easy to adjust the size and the shape of your styrene. Now, as you can't start completely from the beginning, you can just take the rest off by pushing your blade the other way. This should give you a pretty good idea of what I'm trying to explain here. Well, that wraps up most of the styrene work. I got all of my fenders complete, got those headlight surroundings complete, got the grille complete, got the hood scoop complete. Still really bad at muting my stuff, but you know, that will never change. Some other things that I did to the car, I will do that in the next episode, where I'll also be putting in some putty and whatnot. For most part right now I'm depending on the mailman, and this being Norway, I don't know how they deliver mail over here, but sometimes it takes weeks and weeks and weeks. So I'm waiting for my final accessories to come in so I can finally complete this build. If you want to follow along and see how I tackle the rest, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have any type of feedback, tips, comments, questions, whatsoever, don't hesitate to shoot me a message in the box below. I'll try to get back to you. If you enjoyed watching this video, giving it a thumbs up is always very much appreciated. And if you want to be a bit ahead of what's going on here on YouTube, make sure to follow me on Facebook. There's a link in the description box to my Facebook page, and it would be really nice to see you there as well. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to share this video with somebody else that may find it helpful, and I hope to see you around.